Yo, my people, what's going on? What's going down? It's your boy. I'm back again. Sakaran and Smith Road. Oh, oh, oh. Sakaran and Smith Road. What a brilliant performance. What a brilliant weekend. What a brilliant game of 90 plus minutes we have just witnessed. And as we speak, I am looking at our team and the way Mikel is looking at those boys with so much pride, with so much, yeah, man. Martin Odegaard lifting that trophy. Everyone smiles, beautiful scenes of glorious emotion. Look at the smiles on Declan Rice's face, on Urian Timber's face, on Kai Havertz's face. They want to hide it, but they can't contain it. It is absolutely beautiful to witness. And I say that to say this, man. We needed that luck. We needed that moment of luck. We needed that special moment of brilliance from Leandro Trossard. I mean, this boy, look, what else do we need to say about this kid, man? What else do we need to say about the boy, Leandro Trossard, with that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shot that ends up being deflected by Kanji and makes it 1-1, dying enders of the game. I thought it was doom and gloom. If you watched my live watch along, I had kind of accepted the defeat. And I was just kind of, I was probably thinking to myself, bro, like, I'm sick and tired of losing against Man City. I'm actually sick and tired of losing against these lot. I'm proper sick and tired, Enough is enough now. Yes, it's only the Community Shield. I get that. But you know what? I'm sick and tired. And, the substitutions, some of them were a bit kind of like, what's he trying to do here? And some of them were a bit more understandable, but it looks like they worked. The substitutions, some of them were pivotal. Of course, this one here being Leandro Trossard. And the Kieran Tierney one is a bit of a weird one because I do feel as though he was slightly up for it. It was against the run of play. They were attacking, and City, they attack fast when they attack. And it was kind of like, okay, cool. Let me not put the full blame on Kieran Tierney, but he is technically at fault in that sense because of how he kind of gets done by Phil Foden, I think it was, and even Thomas Partey as well. Thomas Partey, I do believe he should have been the one that came off as opposed to Declan Rice. But all in all, look, we got the win, and what a performance on penalties. Steve Salkas, thank you, my brother, for tuning in as you always do. Go Gunners, he says. And yes, sir, absolutely, we've done it. And look, if anything, this win is more of a kind of mental, psychological win as opposed to anything else, as opposed to the shield. Look, the shield is a shield, it's a trophy. Tottenham don't win trophies. They can't even win it. When has Tottenham put their hands on a Community Shield? Tell me the last time. Please drop a like, subscribe to the channel, smash the hell out of that like button. Please just smash it. Please, 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 please. Tell me, people, how much Tottenham would love to win that Community Shield, how much they would love a trip to Wembley and actually win silverware. And, we just do it week in, week out, year in, year out at Wembley. It doesn't matter when, what season, what's the weather. It doesn't matter who's the player, who's the striker. Wembley's our home. It's our home. And I want us to win the FA Cup this year. I think we need to win the FA Cup this year. We need to win the Premier League and hopefully another trophy, and it will be an unbelievable season. But yeah, look, in terms of the game, it was one of those games where, to be honest with you, I was actually quite surprised. I didn't expect us to, play as well as we did. Looking at the preseason and how it's kind of, how it kind of went. I thought that we wasn't ready. I thought we were going to be overrun by City. I thought we was going to eventually, maybe not from the entire 90 minutes, but I did think that it was going to be one of them games where you kind of saw us, going into a shell and going so much into a shell and them growing into the game. That we would eventually, just lost out 2-0, 3-0, or 2-1, 3-1, or 3-2. But that wasn't the case. It was quite the opposite. We grew into the game, and it was interesting to see because clearly with Arsenal, it's definitely always when it's Arsenal v Man City, it's always a confidence thing. Just like when it's Arsenal v United at times, just like when it's Arsenal v Real Madrid, when it's a confidence thing. Yes, these are top elite teams. Of course, it's hard to beat them, but the confidence thing. They can be beat. We can beat City. We can beat a Real Madrid. We can beat a a Liverpool. And it looks like, for example, Liverpool is a club that we look like we've kind of got that mental hurdle away from. We've managed to kind of get it out of our system. About time to beat Man City. Sick of getting beaten. Yeah, absolutely. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, Steve. Thank you for the comment. Man's just tired of getting slapped by Man City. And I was thinking to myself when 1-0 down, like, bro, I'm not going to lie. Like, I've had enough of actually getting beat by Man City. And Danny, if you're watching this video, if you're going to tune into the channel, my brother, I'm so sorry, but we needed this one, and this is revenge. Revenge has been enacted. Revenge has taken full tilt, not the fullest of tilts. We want revenge in the Premier League. That's the real revenge. But this is good. This is a psychological win. This is a win that tells us, from here we can achieve everything we want. Declan Rice, back-to-back trophies, debut. Arsenal and the coaching staff there with Mikel Arteta taking pictures now with the Community Shield. Beautiful scenes. Don't you love to see it? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, people. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Player ratings. I'm gonna be blunt and I'm gonna be honest. Bear with me. Most of the players are gonna get high ratings today because I think the team did fantastically well. I think the team, they definitely surprised me. I'll be honest. Like Arsenal, they surprised me today in the sense of I didn't expect us to just show ourselves in the way that we did, and have the confidence and grow into the confidence and all of these things that I'm going to keep saying. But if we look over here, in terms of player ratings, I think Ramsdale. Look, what else can I say? We won 4-1 penalties, so that says it all. I think he was really good in the game overall. He did the basics. He did what he needed to do. I want to look a shaky moment. I do remember that time, or that moment where he kind of just sort of, I don't know what he was trying to do. Like it's almost like he was trying to space out the ball so much to the point where it almost went into our goal. It almost turned into our own goal. When you give the ball a little bit of space. And I was just thinking to myself, like, Ramsdale, don't write yourself off here. Don't do a madness. And he didn't, and he was composed. Mikel Arteta there just receiving a kiss from the spouse, from the wife. Congratulations, meu amor, mi corazón. Congratulations, Mikel. Ramsdale saves. We are currently looking at those Ramsdale saves. Look, don't get me wrong. That save there, that Phil Foden save when it was 1-1, that is a brilliant save. He saved it with the calf of his feet. I'm looking at it live as we speak. Well, not live. I'm looking at the replay as we speak. Another one from a set piece. I'm going to give Aaron Ramsdale and that penalty save when I went against him. I didn't think he can do it, and he done it. And it's brilliant that he done it because he's answering. He's got this knack of answering the critics when the critics are on him. And I think he was tremendous in this game. I can't see how I wouldn't give him a 9. I'll be honest and I'll be real. And the only reason why I wouldn't even give him a 10 in this situation is because obviously, we went to penalties, conceded, it wasn't a clean sheet, but he was tremendous, Aaron Ramsdale. So I'll give him a 9. Swiftly moving forward, Ben White. Listen, I mean, my goodness, the energy levels, the fitness levels. One of the things I fear about Ben White a lot of the times is his fitness level. Today, that was there was no issue there. There was no issue with his fitness. He went forward when he needed to, stay back when he needed to. Ben White was tremendous and he was smooth, and you hardly saw him in any situations, any problems, not being overrun, not being how can I say, coming in, getting beaten from behind and stuff like that. So fantastic to see from Ben White, looking like he's fully back to his best or getting close to his best. He gets a 9 for me as well. William Saliba, oh my goodness, absolutely amazing game, tremendous in that back. He pocketed Erling Haaland into such an extent where Erling Haaland came off. He didn't look like he had a good game. He didn't look like he enjoyed it. He didn't even look like there was anything happening for him. So fantastic to see from William Saliba. He gets a 9 for me as well. Gabriel, equally the same. You know, Gabriel, when Saliba's having an amazing game, Gabriel also tends to have an even better, if not a same amazing game as well. And I think that, yes, you know, ultimately there was 1-2 shaky moments, but you saw him applying, Gabriel in this case, you saw him applying and doing the things that he knows he needs to work on. Instead of trying to kick the ball or head or knee the ball, you head the ball, bro. When it's a long ball from the rival opposing keeper, you head the ball back out onto the pitch. Don't try to do no fancy thing. Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka just posing with the Community Shield. Beautiful scenes with their nice gold winners medals. Lovely scenes. Would love to see it. But yeah, look, he was tremendous as well, Gabriel. Urian Timber, again, another one who I think for me was brilliant. He got done maybe once, twice. Started off a bit shaky. You know, started off the first 5 minutes, he was a bit kind of like a bit sort of, you know, trying to, he looked a bit like he was in no man's land at first, but then he very quickly understood what was required of him, and he just grew into a titan sort of fullback, left back. This guy can play left back, centre back, right back, go into midfield. This is a bargain. This might actually be one of the top bargains of the summer. Urian Timber. We bought him for what? 36 M's. This guy is playing like a 60 million player. He's playing like a 60 million player, and we bought him for 30 M's. Looking at the pictures again from the boys with their lovely, beautiful medals, taking pictures with the shield, enjoying, basking in the wind, basking in the ambience with the Arsenal fans at the Wembley Stadium. And yeah, man, fantastic performance. He gets a 9 for me, literally 9 across the board, moving forward into midfield. Martin Odegaard, look, El Capitan, you know what Martin Odegaard does. He huffs and puffs most of the times. There's unique games where he does the business, and he absolutely does the business. This is not one of those games. However, one thing I did notice that he was doing, and you know, big him up for this, because I'm telling you, it requires a lot. The press was immense from Martin Odegaard today. It was absolutely immense. Martin Odegaard's pressing, he put pressure on Ruben Diaz, didn't allow him to settle in. He put pressure on Kanji, he put pressure on anyone that he had to put pressure on. And, you know, this press allowed us, it galvanized us, it allowed us to kind of, you know, move a little bit forward up the pitch, and, you know, together working in tandem with people like Declan Rice, who's also going to be vocal. He was vocal on the pitch as well. It was fantastic to see. A few misplaced passes, 1 or 2, a few side passes here and there. I did think he was, you know, there wasn't a lot of forward passes that you really want to see with your kind of, you know, advanced attacking midfielder. And in this case, of course, you know, Odegaard being Odegaard, who is somebody who's going to unlock keys. I think he would, you know, he needed to do a little bit more on that front. But all in all, I think he did fantastic. I think, you know, he took his penalty very well in terms of the shootout. So yeah, I'm going to give Martin Odegaard a 8. I don't think he was as brilliant as the rest of them that have come before in terms of the defense. I think the defense was tremendous today. And yeah, so I'll give him an 8. Thomas Partey, I'll give him an 8 as well. I think he was absolutely titanic in the first half. You know, I was bigging him up as I was doing the live watch along. Look, he's just, you know, he's the first name on the team sheet. Him and then maybe 1 or 2 others. They're just there, man. They're just the first names on the team sheet. You can't argue with that. You can't deny that. If we get rid of Thomas Partey, we have to replace him with a tremendous talent, and I'm talking an elite talent, because we'll feel that loss if we was to lose him. Jorginho's not at the level, he's not at the standard. Jorginho brings different qualities, but it's not happening. I'm going to give him an 8 as well. I did think there was elements to his game that kind of went a bit in the second half, and these are one of the things that with Thomas, I don't know, man. It's like, you know, you saw it last season till end. He just kind of, it's like he takes a step back and he goes back into gear 1, or, you know, from gear 3, that the second half kind of ends, and all the way back down to gear 1. But all in all, look, he's on the winning side. He was pivotal in there, in the engine room. Nothing goes through him, not go through him, or without some sort of influence from him. So I'll have to give him a high 8 as well, nonetheless. For Thomas Partey. Declan Rice, Declinski. My boy debut in a competitive game for Arsenal. And I'll be honest, I'll be real. I think it was fantastic. I think it was splendid. I think Declan Rice is what allowed us to kind of, in pockets of the game, re-energize ourselves and re-galvanize, because he kept things so simple and so ticking. When you think of that square in that midfield area of Saliba, Gabriel, Rice, and Partey, like that's a presence. That's a lot. There's a lot going on there, and I think that Declan Rice is somebody who just allowed us in this game to have that balance and reignite that balance and have responses to their attacking pressure and their attacking moments, and at least break out with simple passes that turn into a bit more complex passes with the attacking players like Saka and so forth. That was all attribute that's something, those are things you could attribute to Declan Rice today. I think he had a great debut. I think it wasn't one that he thoroughly enjoyed. Ultimately, he's going to enjoy it, of course, because we won the Community Shield. But you saw glimpses of things that I'm telling you, like, man, the league needs to watch out. Once Declan Rice settles in properly into this Arsenal side, and Mikel has said it, Mikel has used these words, quote unquote, once we build the right environment for him that he can thrive in, you're going to see a tremendous player that contributing for Arsenal. Because even on little moments today, you already saw that. You already saw him being that link. You already saw him being that sweeper. You already saw him being, there was a moment where he must have ran, I don't know how many yards to be able to get to, who was it? Was it Foden? I don't think Foden was on yet. There was a Man City player running clean on goal in the middle, and Rice with a recovery, like, he's just not used to seeing that. No Arsenal player has actually done that in the past, maybe Partey here and there, but to see Rice do that in an Arsenal shirt, when you've seen him do it in a West Ham shirt, it was wicked to see. I was like, raw boy, that recovery tackle from Rice was wicked to see. You saw that West Ham many, many times. That's one of the, I think that's one of the skills that, or that's one of the attributes that maybe no Arsenal player has prior to obviously Rice arriving. So it was brilliant to see. I got to give him a 9 for a debut performance. I was really happy, and yeah, I got to give him a 9, man. He was fantastic for me. Bukayo Saka, you know what? Bukayo Saka tried, but this is again one of these more quiet games, and he doesn't necessarily need to score to have a splendid game. I'm not saying, if there's a game that he doesn't score in, that means he was quiet and he's gonna get lower ratings. I just think Bukayo was, did the things he needed to do, was a threat at all times. Bukayo, when he's in the squad, you saw it against Monaco. When he's not in the squad, how much the squad looks fretless at times, and when he's in the squad, the threat's there. The boy's solid. But I do think that they kind of had him on control, and he couldn't really exert himself. We saw one chance where he tried to cut in on the left and tried to shoot, that went wide. He said it was deflected. There was some sort of deflection, but ref never gave anything for that. So yeah, it wasn't the most scintillating game, at least from my perspective and from my view. And this is, of course, just simply my view. You guys drop down on the comments what you feel, and how you feel Bukayo Saka's performance was. But for me, it wasn't the most scintillating one. However, it doesn't mean he has to get a low rating. I'm going to give him a 7. I'm going to give him a high 7, because I still think he did what he needed to do in moments and in pockets. Ultimately, he scored his goal as well. Fantastic goal to score in the penalty shootout. So yeah, so that's that. Kai Havertz. We move on to Kai Havertz. Now, Kai Havertz playing up front, unprecedented for Arsenal. We didn't think that this would happen. We thought he would be playing in the midfield somewhere, behind. But of course, reacting to the injury for Gabriel Jesus, he's obviously slotted him in there. He wants to put his best players on the pitch, and I think that's right. I think that's something you should do. I do believe that Trossard earned the right to kind of start ahead of him if he was going to play someone up front, such as Havertz or Thingy, someone as opposed to Nketiah. It wasn't Nketiah, and he's chosen Havertz to play in that role. So I do believe, and I do think that he could have done better with his chances. There were chances that he's hitting straight to the goal, and it's kind of like, bro, like, come on, man, like you wanna be able to do the most you can do to make sure that goes on target, and you hit that and you score that goal at all costs. You score that goal, bro, at all costs, you score that goal. But it wasn't to be, and it is what it is. I think he had good moments in terms of link-up play, in terms of touches, in terms of, switching here and there. But Kai Havertz, I think he's a bit done for when it comes to pace. He can run, but I think he's a bit done for. He's probably one of the slowest players in terms of the players out there in the pitch. So pace ain't really going to be his thing. At least he's not shown it, at least in these last few games. He's great at positioning. That's what he's great. He's great at being in positions where, he can make a difference, and he can potentially, give you a goal or two just by being in that position, in terms of tucking it in, or in terms of, just kind of nicking the ball, being a poacher. So that's Kai Havertz. I'm gonna have to give him a 6. I'll be honest and I'll be real. He did score the penalty. Did he score a penalty? Did Kai Havertz score a penalty? I think he did. Yeah, he did score a penalty, and that's good to see. That's fantastic to kind of see. But I do believe that we should have seen better from him in terms of those 2 chances that he missed. It wasn't good to see those 2 chances and him missing them like that. So I'm gonna have to give Kai Havertz a 6. Kai Havertz probably for me gets the lowest kind of rating. I'll be honest and I'll be real. So yeah, man. Look, I say that to say this. He's got a lot to work on and he's got a lot to improve. It's just a case of, look, man, we got to be able to be patient with him, but he definitely needs to be more clinical. He 100% needs to be more clinical, Kai Havertz. So he's going to get a 6 for me. Now, Martinelli, last but not least, Martinelli looked bright. Martinelli looked like he wanted to, make the difference, be the difference as he a lot of the times does. But I think Martinelli is not 100% quite there yet when it comes to, finishing and stuff like that. So I do believe, and I do think that that's one of the things he's got to try to kind of, work on now, to be honest with you. He needs to start working on that right now as we speak, and, get better, because he's had chances and he can create chances, and, he's one of them players where he's like a Trojan horse in our side. He can create something out of nothing. But I think he's just not being clinical enough, and therefore, is obviously showing in games. But he's still looking sharp. He's still looking like he wants to. I think a lot of times he needs to pass quicker as well, Martinelli. But he gets a 7 for me. I'll give him a slightly higher rating, because there were a few chances, a few crosses that he put through that there was no one there to kind of convert and benefit from. So yeah, so that's the player ratings. Last but not least, Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta, look, Mikel Arteta, I didn't like the energy when it came to his post pre-match interview. He looked, as I said previously, he looked a bit kind of like, he just looked like he wasn't in, he didn't believe. He looked like he's kind of like, oh yeah, cool, we're gonna, I put the best players out there. If we win it, we win it. If we don't, we don't. It is what it is. It's Man City. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired about these guys. And yeah, man, I'm just gonna kind of like, kind of ride the waves and ride the emotions. Whatever happens, happens. So I'm gonna give him an 8. Ultimately, I do think the substitutions, he did enough substitutions to find the right one to make it work, and it worked. So Mikel Arteta gets an 8 for me. And yeah, man, another Community Shield in the bag, people. That is brilliant to witness. That's going to do a wonderful thing for us in terms of confidence, in terms of, and this is something that I think a lot of people will share that same sentiment as Steve has. That's what gives the team confidence, and it more certainly will. And yeah, man, we move forward, people. That's the player ratings. Overall, we're looking good. We're looking all right. As I said in my previous video, watching the Monaco game live at the Emirates, even though the scoreline wasn't anything to, be wild about or anything like that. But I think in terms of just the way we're playing and what I can see in terms of what he's trying to do with this team, is if it comes together, if it bangs, it's going to bang, and it's going to bang crazy. And on the evidence of today, it looks like it can bang with Rice there, playing in that sort of unique sort of role. As I said previously, Saliba today, he was tremendous, absolutely ginormous in that defense. We conceded, but I think Saliba, he was, trust me, this guy, I can't believe he's as young as he is. And the sky is the limit for William Saliba. The sky is really the limit. He's 21 years old. That's how old he is. Yeah. These guys. He's just like the other guy, Gvardiol. He's only 21 as well, the new centre back. And look at this. I mean, William Saliba versus Manchester City, 96% pass accuracy, 86 touches, 74 passes, 6 passes into the final third, 6 times possession won, 4 clearances, 4 duels, 2 tackles made, 0 fouls, bro. An absolute giant performance from him. And you have to big him up. You have to big up Arsenal. You have to big up Edu. You have to start to say, the fact that you guys were able to secure him into a long-term contract. This boy playing for us. I mean, it's gonna be scenes. It's gonna be scenes. I mean, if we keep him and he's like 26, 27, 28, getting to those ages there, oh my God, it's Rolls Royce of a defender, and you can't knock him. You can't knock him. He will always have the more of that sort of shining star, shining bright star. And it's weird because when you think about it, Gabriel's Brazilian. Normally Brazilian players, they have that sort of shine bright element to them, and they're all over the news and stuff. But Saliba, French international, he tells and demands that as well. And yeah, man, grabbing the headlines, brilliant, brilliant. I feel like to give him a 10 out of 10 performance, but I gave him a 9. William Saliba, Gabriel also got a 9. I think Gabriel was brilliant as well. So look, Arteta needs to really, just continue to respect Pep, continue to respect him, but you need to be a bit more like, yo, this is not a game, this is not, we're serious, and you need to translate this energy onto the boys. You need to translate this same, because if you fear him, the boys will feel that energy, and they will fear him, and they'll fear the players, they'll fear Man City, and we can't allow that. And there were moments and times where it looked like that's how it was going to go, but I think with the characters we have in the team now, and that's what the difference was, probably the characters we have in the team, people like Dex, with Odegaard continue to grow. This is a whole new year. They're 1 year older. They're wiser, more mature. Character in the team didn't allow it. People like Gabriel, tell him that, right, that's not going to go down and under. And that's something you have witnessed. We have seen from last season already, and you most certainly want to see it again this season as well. But yeah, man, listen, I say all of that to say this. One final look at the match stats for Arsenal possession. City were always going to have more, 55 as opposed to us, 45. They ultimately ended up having more shots than us, off and on target. We had 3 shots on target. They had 4, but by half time, they had none, and we already had 2. So we were definitely active in that first half, and we played very, very well. Some of the best football I've seen all summer in terms of that first half display. Corners, City coming in 6 corners, Arsenal 5. But look at the fouls as well. That's an interesting stat there, because that clearly shows that they resorted to fouls in order to get to have some sort of control in the game, or try to regain control in the game, where we only committed 6, they committed 11. And beautiful scenes to witness, man, all round. Seeing the boys with their new teammates, Urian Timber, and the medals and stuff like that. These are the things you want to see. These are the situations you want your team to be involved in, and you see the Arsenal hierarchy all there at Wembley. These are the type of stuff that is gonna re-energize people like Josh Kroenke and stuff to continue to invest. We need to just go out there, cop a 1-2 more player. David Raya, if he's going to come in for Ramsdale. Look, Ramsdale ultimately still starts, and it's just a battle. I'm going to ultimately enjoy having both top goalkeepers in my team, and that's that. It's as simple as that. But yeah, ultimately, it's going to be one of them ones where, we want to see a top competitive team in every position, and a striker. Havertz is not the guy. You saw it today. As good as he is in some aspects of the game, and in many different situations. There's going to be unique things that are not gonna, he's not gonna have the capacity, and we need somebody to be able to have the capacity. But look, I'm happy. Sunday, the 6th of August, we have won the Community Shield by beating Manchester City on penalties, 4-1 penalties. Beautiful performance on penalties as well. All lovely, well taken penalties by the likes of Odegaard, Havertz, Fabio Vieira, and so forth. And yeah, people, man, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Write down a comment. Let me know what you think. Watch the watch live along. The watch along as well. That was live. That was interesting. I thought it was doom and gloom for the majority of the game, as opposed to when they scored. But somehow, out of nowhere, we got the wizardry from Leandro Trossard. And I don't really do player ratings for subs, to be honest with you. I just kind of go with that starting 11. I think sub is always a hit and miss in terms of them having an impact or not, but I think he deserves it because he scored. He'll get a high 9 for me as well. Very active, very, very productive when he came on, and that skill to kind of give himself space to be able to take the shot and get a bit of luck is what is allowing us to have the conversation that we're having, allowing me to express the things that I'm expressing now. So yeah, people, man, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Enjoy your weekend. If you're Arsenal fan, it's been brilliant, fantastic. I think it's fair to say that we have had a good transfer window summer. Pre-season hasn't been the best, even though we've gone to, the team's gone to great places and stuff like that. I just feel as though game, like playing wise, has been a bit hit and miss. But yeah, man, we move, and Sunday the 12th of August is when the real competitiveness starts. Is when the real business starts again in the Premier League, facing Nottingham Forest at home, and I'll see you then for the pre-match preview for that game. Love you and leave you, people. Peace.